Hi, I'm Edwin Balloy, midriseliving.com, your resource for higher density living in Orange County. Today we're talking about litigation again. For those who didn't watch my first video, I'll link it down below in the comments or in the description of this video. So we're talking about how litigation affects real estate sales. And we're not just talking about formally filed litigation. Now we're expanding the topic to three areas, which is pretty much pre-litigation, meaning that you're yet to file the formal documents with the court. We'll talk about during litigation, and we'll talk about after the litigation is finished, the post-litigation stage. So I've dealt with sales in various areas of LA and Orange County, including Blue and Long Beach, Stadium Lofts of Anaheim, the Domain in Anaheim, and other communities nearby. What I'm calling pre-litigation is when a formal notice has been made to the members of the association and an attorney might have already been retained. This is the point where formal requests have already been made and there have been some differences as far as how the response has been from the builder. At the most infant stages, it might just be mentioned in the meeting minutes. While it's true if it's in the meeting minutes that it could be buried in like hundreds of pages of disclosures within the sale of your property, all you need is that one buyer that'll look at it, or at worst, they could try to prove that you were aware of the potential litigation a year or two from then and come back and sue because you failed to disclose. But the bigger consequence is that it might scare away buyers. So if it does get disclosed up front, the buyers may look at the documents. We'll talk a little bit more about how they would get scared off. So there definitely is a way of properly explaining the litigation, and it would be a good idea for the real estate agent to know specifics about it. Lenders may decline the loan because there is now a 9-page Fannie Mae questionnaire, and Freddie Mac has something pretty similar too. These are two GSE types of loans. These are the conventional loans that are used in financing, often used with 10% and over 20% down. The questionnaire asks a lot of questions now. It used to just be half a page and they just asked a few questions. They were just yes or no. Now it's 9 pages and it's raising all kinds of flags, raising all kinds of problems for escrows starting in January 1st, 2022. Now we're moving on to formal litigation that has been filed with the courts. In most cases, again, an attorney has already been retained by the Homeowners Association and it shows up on public records. The formal lawsuit, if you look at it, it's a lot of pages, it has a lot of legal jargon, and probably 99% of the public won't understand what they're looking at. Even worse, they'll look at this court document and often mistake it as an inspection report, that it's matter of fact and all these things exist. If you do look at some of the language used, it'll make it sound like the building's full of leaks, all the windows don't work, the roofs are bad, and it just gives off the impression that the building is dangerous. To make matters worse during litigation, one of these questions or more of the questions might be answered in a manner where it raises a flag to the lender. So the lender will often ask for an inspection report or some kind of proof that repairs were made. The findings that often happen from inspections, repairs, and other things that go on, these activities that go on between the builder and the attorney and also the homeowners association, they're usually kept confidential and can't be shared with lenders. Now let's say that the litigation is finished and the two sides have reached an agreement, and that's often a settlement. Now you might breathe a sigh of relief, and often you can, and because it improves the marketability of the project and more buyers would naturally be interested. The problem could arise because, again, that condo questionnaire that we talked about earlier, it's still asked, and there still could be some questions that directly reference the litigation. And again, those inspection reports or repairs are not available. So it does take a specialist to really review these sorts of things. So what are the takeaways from all of this? It's really that if you're hiring a real estate agent, that you hire someone with litigation experience. Don't just take their word from it where they say, oh yeah, I have sold with projects under litigation. Ask them for specific examples and maybe even ask details so you could get on a comfort level, because you could only fake that part so far. And then there are some cases where a real estate agent can go out of their way and get the project approved with their lender. So that way you could have at least an ace in your back pocket. If the buyer's lender runs into any issues during the escrow, that you at least know someone can do it with 100% certainty. Again, I'm Edwin Balloy at midriseliving.com. If you have any questions about potentially selling your place while it's pre, during, or post litigation, just let me know.